Hello, welcome to the conversation here on News Central Television. This is the program where we bring you up to date with all the political happenings on the African continent. I am Gbenga Aborowa.
I am Rita Omodia. On the conversation today, we will take a look at the ongoing Commonwealth Summit holding in Kigali, Rwanda. And we will also tell you how the African Union has suspended participation in UN-led talks. Now, this is to bring about peace in Sudan, of which there's been a military transition, in Sudan since October 2021. And still now, we're still having the military take over government.
And the people have been relentless. You know, protest after protest. More than 100 people have died since October, and they're saying that they no to military rule. So it'll be nice to see how that pans out. We'll get into the discussions, and so many things happening on the continent politically. In Nigeria's campaign season, in Malawi, there's a serious political situation breaking out between the president and the vice president, and accusations of graft there. But today, our focus for the first part is Sudan. We're starting with the political situation in Sudan, where the African Union has suspended its participation in the United Nations facilitated talks to end the Sudan political crisis. Its representative in the talks cited lack of transparency and exclusion of important political actors from the process. The AU and the Regional Bloc Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, had previously backed the UN-led intra-Sudanese dialogue process, which began on the 8th of June.
The dialogue was, however, postponed indefinitely a few days later after the former ruling forces of Freedom and Change Coalition refused to join its sessions. The FFC is demanding the military to leave power and return power to a civilian transitional government. Now, joining us live for this conversation, we have a Sudanese political activist who joins us from London, Abdelrahim Abayazid. Thank you so much for joining us, Abdelrahim.
Thank you very much for having me tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we have the AU, we have the UN. We're supposed to have political parties in this UN-facilitated talks. What is the implication of African Union suspending its participation in the UN-facilitated talks?
Okay, this will lead to what we have been saying from the beginning. We don't want the Sudanese people, the revolutionary people, the main players in Sudan, which is the people of Sudan, the people whom are in the streets, to lose trust on the international organization, specifically the African Union, as Sudan is one of the established founders of the African Union or African countries organization, which is later African Union. So from the beginning, the African Union and the UN, they were there, and they were on the side. They were on the side of the military. They were not on the side of the people of Sudan. People on the streets. They are not with the committees, the resistant neighboring committees, which is saying no to military, no to negotiation, no bargaining at all. So the UN and the African Union and the Troika, the European countries, America, they were not listening to this. And they thought that they can bring people to sit together and then it will go. Negotiation will go, peaceful will come, or the peace will come, or the negotiation will go peacefully without any interruption. So now the people on the streets, they're saying no, they're sticking to the no, they're grabbing on the streets onto their slogans, freedom, peace, and justice. In fact, because there is no justice is being done, as we have said, we mentioned here before, there is no justice there. So people will not trust this military, they don't want to sit with them. They don't want to sit with any organization that will support them, will give them legitimacy. Now, the UN, the international organizations, the African Union started to give them, to make them legal, to recognize them as they is two sides or two part of this country. military and civilians. The call is for the country to be under civilian rules, and they sat with the military. So this is the main issue. Even the UN soon may walk out if they are not listening to what the Sudanese people wants, what the real people of Sudan or real revolutionaries want. And now, as you mentioned in your briefing, that people were preparing. They are preparing for marches and 30th of June to show the power of the Sudanese people. Maybe the whole country will stand still. People will stop going to work. People will join this demonstrations to show how strong the Sudanese people, how determined they are into what the revolution of December, what the movement of December wanted to achieve, and why people sacrificed their life, their injuries for a future Sudan, for a peaceful Sudan. The international community they don't want to hear that. They think that stability can come with the military, and this is something that we passed this in the past. We have done this. We tried this. We tried even what they called with the military. Sorry.
Okay, Abdelrahim, now that the African Union has suspended its participation in negotiations and talks, we also have the Forces of Freedom and Change, FFC coalition, who has refused to join these sessions. Why is the FFC so adamant on not joining, not allowing for negotiations? And how big of an impact does the FFC have in terms of membership and influence in Sudanese politics?
We are not looking. They are not looking into the main issues, into the main problems. Who's the problem? Is it the people, the civilians, or the military? We have tried the military so many times. We have seen them ruling this country for a very long time. We see, is the African Union, is the UN, is the Troika, are all of them with corruption? Are all of them with war? Are all of them with are all of them with smuggling? Wealth going outside of Africa, going to other countries. This is the main issue. This is what is the people still they are in war. We had this agreement before with witnessing, with sponsoring by the same countries, the same African Union, the same. We had this Juba agreement, which is still there's no peace. Still people that are dying in Darfur, people are dying in the Blue Nile state, people still suffering in Nuba Mountains, dying as well, and people dying all all around the country. So what is the solution that's being offered? What is in the table for the Sudanese people? There is nothing. So that they will go. They will be in the street until they achieve. And they believe, the Sudanese people, they believe in their peaceful struggle. They believe that in the people of Sudan, they believe that they can throw all the military, all the dictatorship. They will not obey anything. If the international world, if the international community wanted to help the Sudanese people in the streets, they are saying, if they wanted to help us to take these people, the military out, these smugglers out. Don't interfere in our internal issues. If you want to help us, stop this. Plus, there's other things. When we had this revolution in 2019, December 2019, the people of Sudan, we were expecting the international community to brace us, to help us to go out of this, but they were still making obstacles by demanding all the debts, demanding for Sudan, like what's happened in America, what's happened with the International Monetary Fund. Everything was stopped, and this helped the military. It was not helping the civilians. It was not helping the poor people of Sudan.
Oh, Abdelrahim, sorry to cut in here. You're saying that these talks are not focused on how to help the people. Now, if you look at the opposition, that is the Forces for Freedom and Change, that's the FFC, they've been embroiled in various divisions. Now, do you believe that the political institution in Sudan can actually handle a transfer of power without these peace talks?
This is you call it a peace talk. It's what the Sudanese people wants. What the Sudanese people wants this military to be away, to take peace talk between whom? This is what is the word? What is the international community? What the African?
Well, how organized are political parties in Sudan? How organized are they?
And the opposition, are they united?
They are well organized. They are well organized. There is fractions now, but the international community is trying to have their agents there, to have their people whom they are looking to look after their interest in Sudan. So even the forces of freedom, it's not, they are not the main choice. They are not leading the streets. They are not whom they are in the streets. This is being made up being pushed and being supported by the international community, but they are not totally supported by the Sudanese people on the streets, by the neighboring committees, by most of the parties whom they are opposing. We are not united, because some people, they don't want to go with the Western countries. They don't want to go with what is the African Union wants from them. And some people, because they wanted to go with what the Sudanese people want. And some of them, they think this is the solution. And on the streets, people on the streets and other parties, they're saying, we have tried this before. We listened to you, the international community. We were obeying what you are saying. We gave you a chance to support us. We listened to you. But at the end of the day, we came with a dictatorship. This is the continuation of the Security Committee of al-Bashir. Al-Burhan is part of it. His council is part of it. They were making it. So you handed us to these people, and you are not punishing them. You are dealing with them. They are the killers. They are the smugglers. You are dealing with them. How you want us to trust? How you want us to go? This is what should be.
That brings me to this question, Abdelrahim, on how do we proceed from here? Since October last year, over 100 Sudanese have died. The ordinary Sudanese is tired of military rule. They've been dogged in their resolve. They've been protesting day after almost every other week since October. There has been protest against the military rule, one way or the other. And how resolved and dogged are these ordinary Sudanese? And what's the way out? How do they get out of this conundrum? Because the military government of Al-Burhan is saying, no, we're not leaving. And the civilians are saying, yeah, we're going to keep protesting. We don't want you there. So what's the way out? And it seems like talks aren't working. Even the African Union got so tired that it pulled out. It suspended itself from taking part in this talk. So what's the way out of this deadlock?
Victory at the end of the day will be with the people of Sudan, and this is not just a slogan, but this is something that we have tried before, and I think people they are determined to achieve this victory.
How would they go about it?
The way out of it is just for the military to go out, because there is no any guarantee that the military will not kill more than 100 next month.
But do you believe that the military will actually cede power if there are no discussions, if there are no peace talks? Or the military just give up power like that?
They will not give power just like that, but this is an issue, and people are looking at it. But people are ready. They wanted to fight the military, even with peaceful. They kept doing this, and they are not gonna. All this sacrifice and these martyrs. People are not gonna just forget it and leave for the military because the military are not gonna leave. At the end of the day, they will leave.
Abdelrahim, it looks like the odds are stacked against the ordinary people of Sudan, because on one end you have the United Nations in the West. They are pro-stability. They feel, the military gives a semblance of stability in a very volatile region. And when you look east towards the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and also Egypt are supporting the government of General Abdel Fattah el-Burhan. So where does help come from? External help. And now the African Union has said, we're tired of these talks. We're not participating in it.
This is exactly what they are saying to us. They wanted stability, and we want stability. It is not for them. It means even they can have another Bashir. They can make the Bashir continue. They have another military rulers and dictatorship. This is what the Eastern countries, Western countries wants. This is what our neighbors wants. But our people in Sudan, they want peace and justice, okay, and freedom at the same time. And they will fight for it, and they will keep fighting for it. And every day they are more stronger, and they have, they have a logical reasons to continue. This is what we are aiming for. What is the military is aiming for? The international community wants the stability, and they don't mind, human rights abuse. They don't mind smuggling. They just looking after their interest. And this is what is our, simple people on the streets. If now you go into the streets of Sudan, and people, you ask children, they will say to you that we want peace and justice, and we don't care about the international community. This is why we want the international community to change what they are, the way that they are approaching us, the way that they are looking to our people in Sudan. We are human beings. We are members of the African Union, founders. We are members of the UN. We must be our people, not our governments. Our people must be here, must be, listen to what they want. This is the government, should be government for the people, not for the military, not for the international community. We don't want to participate, our people, they don't want to participate in wars. They don't want to participate in war in Yemen. They don't want to be policing Africa for what you call illegal immigration. We want peace. So this is what we are after, and this is why we asking our African leaders and our African fellows to help us with, but not to work against our people, not against our Sudanese people. And what we will go with, what myself, and a lot of Sudanese, they will go with what is the road, what is the streets wants, what is the Sudanese people wants. They want peace and justice and freedom. We don't want stability with the meaning of the international community. Stability for America is in America. It is not in Sudan. But if we work, if we have a peaceful government, if we have a democratic government, if our people whom they are in the camps, in the refugee camps around Sudan, or around neighbor countries, come back to their places and to their villages and cities, and start working on their factories and agriculture and these things again, it will be peaceful, it will be a stable country, there will be a stability. We will participate in the peace of the world. But like this, under military, under this crucial militaries, no, there will be more killing, more fighting. People will escape. People will try to come to Europe, to go to other neighboring countries, to look for peaceful, to look for freedom, to look for justice. They will not stay in Sudan. If this is what is the international community wants, the Sudanese people is saying, no, this is we don't want this type of stability. We have been through this before. We want the stability with development, with more recognition for our works, for our people, human rights, like any other country. We asking the world, we asking the African countries, is the stability in America because the military is participating, or is it in Europe, in UK, or any other country? Is it because the military sharing the power with the civilian? No, this is not the case.
Yeah.
This is not the case at all.
Okay, Abdelrahim, I must say that the doggedness of Sudanese protesters is quite very impressive. Now, if you look at this, we've seen COVID-19 destabilization all around the world. We've also seen the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Now, if no compromise is reached, how will Sudan be able to cope? Because according to reports, we know that the number of Sudanese facing acute hunger is projected to double to 18 million by September. How will Sudan cope with all this?
Sudan, I mean, like it will be more problems, more people, more people dying, more people going into the below the poverty line around the world, and this is a shameful thing. I mean, like this question. I think it should be asked to the UN. General Secretary, who at the beginning suggested that the Sudanese people and the Sudanese party must sit with the military. Okay, this is what is led us to this. And even with this situation, it is not just because of the today. I mean, like October coup or anything. This has been a long story. This has been a long time. This is happening. Economics is going down. People are going under poverty. There's a lot of things being stopped, projects and everything. And this is because of the military. People, they don't want the military. If you want stability, if you want development, try help the people to get their democracy. Nobody wants you to want the international community to fight for them politically, to fight for them. Just facilitate the right. Don't support the military. Don't support the criminals. Don't forget, these are the people whom they participated in genocide wars in Darfur. It's the same people. And so, I mean, like, for the people of Sudan, it is better for them to die from hunger, not to die under by the bullets of the military. Okay, this is how people see it. It is about their dignity. It's about their freedom. It's about justice. If the other, I mean, like, if the rest of the world wanted to support the military and force the military to come, they can to sit with the people, or they can do the other thing, force them to leave. Don't deal with them. Don't come and shake hands with them. Don't support them. They are supporting them now. They have their embassies outside. They are represented in the UN. Why not boycotting them? Why not boycotting the people whom boycotting the criminals? And Burhan and Hemeti and all his government or their governments are criminals, because they are still killing, and they participated in killing people for long time, bombarding people, and the war will go on. Now the international community have every right to stop these people from sharing power or staying in the power. They can do that. Why they are making it, I mean, like, difficult for the civilian to go? It's a promise that if the Sudanese people, I mean, like, get into power and run their country democratically and peacefully, everything will be fine. We are not going to say to the world, we are not dealing with you. No.
But Abdelrahim, has there been any time or framework from the political institutions in Sudan, for example, when elections could be held? What exactly is the plan of the opposition political parties who have said no to this negotiation and peace talks of the UN?
First of all, I mean, like, this is being discussed behind the Sudanese people. That's election, and this we cannot do. I mean, like, it will not be fair on the Sudanese people to force them to go into election, and they don't have the resources for this elections. They don't have the stability, the political stability. It is not fair on all the political parties that you tell them that come and compete, and there's other parties whom they got hold of the economic resources in Sudan is still with them. This is the previous, the outset al-Bashir party, the Congress, what they call it, Congress party. and the military as well. They have all the money and power. How fair is that? How is that if tomorrow or if after 1 year? From where, I mean, like these people have got everything in their hand. And this is exactly what we call, this should be, I mean, like a rooted change. I mean, like from the roots to be, this is what the Sudanese people mean.
Yeah, so but Abdelrahim, what is the government
power from them?
What's the government of General Fattah al-Burhan saying? They cannot be in government in perpetuity. They can't stay there forever. So have they come up with a timetable? And when they talk to the people, when they address ordinary Sudanese, what are they saying about their concerns?
They are not, I mean, like, if we are supporting them, if the international community is supporting them, they will not say that they will stick, and they feel that they are very important. Like, these people just ignore them and actually raise the red card in front of their face, saying that you are criminal and you will be punished for what you have done. But whenever, I mean, like, that's why I say not for the international community not to recognize them, not to legitimize them as the Sudanese people saying, because this is why they are coming into the table and saying that we have to participate, we have to share power. This is exactly what they are saying. But from where they got that right? This is why we're saying the international community now is helping this military. There's so many things. There's sanctions, there's rights, there's UN, there's even the interference of the UN. It is not on the right thingy. I mean, like, it is not on the right way. It should be in a different level from this one. If we are looking to support democracy in Sudan and to support peace in Sudan, it should be done with a different way, with a different subject, with a different chapter for the UN chapter. People now, as I said from the beginning, we don't want to start losing trust on this international community, on the African Union, like what the African Union said it clearly. This is not a transparent negotiation. This is not a transparent process, and this is a way good to the Sudanese people, because this is what Sudanese intellectuals, Sudanese activists said from the beginning. This process, and some other parties like the Communist Party saying from the beginning, this is not acceptable. Nobody will accept it. It's quite embarrassing for the African Union to withdraw from the negotiation or from as a facilitator. So I don't know who's close to us. Is it Africa or is it the rest of the international community? Are we belong to the African or belong to the international community? Yes, of course we belong to the international community, but the closer is the African Union, because we are African country. They're supposed to be in there, but because they did not follow, they did not listen to the people of Sudan. That's why now they discovered this. There is a way out of this. The Sudanese people are determined for democracy and peace and justice, and they will do it, and they will get it one day. Victory will be with them, and they are doing this on a daily basis. And even the withdrawal of the African Union, this is one of the victories for the Sudanese people. Not because it is sad that they are going out of this or they are not participating, but it is proving something. It is proving that the Sudanese people were right when they said this is not a transparent negotiation or a process.
Thank you very much, Abdelrahim Abayazid, for your contribution and wishes with the ordinary people of Sudan. Thanks for your contribution.
Very much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You're watching The Conversation at News Central Television. We just concluded our conversation of the African Union withdrawing from the peace negotiations in Sudan. It's time for us to switch gears. When we come back from the break, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting 2022 is currently taking place in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. What's in it for Africa? We'll be discussing this and more when we return. Stay with us.